Overthinking is a silent storm, a tempest of thoughts that can steal our peace and cloud our minds. We get caught in a relentless cycle, replaying past events, anticipating future worries, or endlessly analyzing the present. If you've ever felt this mental chaos, lost and longing for a sense of calm, you're not alone. The ancient wisdom of Buddhism offers a profound path to quiet the noise and cultivate inner tranquility. In this video, we'll explore 4 core Buddhist principles that can guide you toward a clear, balanced, and peaceful state of mind. Let's begin this journey to discover the stillness that awaits us. You toward a clear, balanced, and peaceful state of mind. Let's begin this journey to discover the stillness that awaits us. Embrace the present moment. We often find ourselves caught in the endless cycle of what-ifs and if-onlys. We dwell on the past, replaying our regrets, mistakes, and missed opportunities, wondering what might have been. We project ourselves into the future, consumed by fears, worries, and anxieties about what's to come. In doing so, we overlook the one precious moment we truly possess, the present. The past is nothing more than a memory, and the future is merely a possibility, a projection of what might or might not be. The only reality we can touch, feel, and experience is this very moment right now. In the timeless wisdom of the Buddha, we are gently reminded of this truth. He teaches us to live in the present, to embrace the now, and to let go of our attachment to what has passed or what might come. As he wisely stated, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." These words are not just a suggestion, but a profound invitation to anchor ourselves in the here and now, to release the burden of past regrets and future anxieties. When we stop chasing the past and the future, we free ourselves from the weight of unnecessary worry and mental clutter. It's in the present moment that true peace, clarity, and joy reside. It is where our life is truly happening. The more we focus on the present, the more we open ourselves to the richness of each moment, the subtle beauty in the world around us, the warmth of a smile, the sound of the wind, the feeling of the earth beneath our feet. These are the gifts of the now, waiting for us to notice and appreciate them. Think about the nature of a flowing river. Imagine a disciple standing on the bank, fearful of being swept away by the strong current. He hesitates, unsure of how to cross. From the other side of the river, the master, calm and composed, calls out to him, saying, "Do not worry, the river flows." The only way to cross is to trust the current and be fully present with each step. This simple yet profound story illustrates the nature of life itself. Just like the river, life moves forward, ever flowing, ever changing. The fear of being swept away comes from resistance, the refusal to surrender to the flow of life. But when we stop resisting, when we trust the current and let go of our need to control, we can cross the river with ease, one step at a time. The Master's words point us to a deep truth. The only way to navigate the river of life peacefully is to be present with it, to allow ourselves to move with it, moment by moment. When we embrace the flow of life without clinging to the past or worrying about the future, we find that everything we need is right here, right now. All we need to do is show up fully, let go of our fears, and trust the current. This is not a call to abandon all responsibility or live in reckless abandon. Rather, it's an invitation to approach life with a sense of presence, mindfulness, and acceptance. It's a reminder that the moment you're in is the only moment you can truly influence. The past is gone and the future is uncertain. The present is where your power lies, where your thoughts, actions, and feelings shape the course of your life. So, take a deep breath and let go of the weight of the past and the worries about the future. Focus on the present moment, and you'll find that the river of life is not something to fear, but something to be embraced, one step at a time. Live in the now, and you will discover the peace and freedom that come with it. Surrender what you cannot control. The more we mentally struggle, the deeper we sink into suffering. Our minds often become a battlefield, caught in endless loops of what-if scenarios and if-only thoughts. We replay events, twist them in every possible direction, and imagine countless outcomes, most of which will never happen. These mental patterns, though seemingly harmless, only drain our energy and increase our stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. Instead of offering clarity or resolution, they simply add weight to the burdens we already carry. We exhaust ourselves with thoughts about things we can neither change nor control, only to find ourselves more entangled in worry and fear. This constant struggle is exactly what the Buddha pointed to when he spoke about the nature of suffering. As he wisely said, suffering is not caused by external events, but by our attachment to them. In these words, we are reminded that it's not the external circumstances of our lives that cause us pain, but our reaction to them, our attachment to what we cannot control. It's the grip we maintain on situations, people, or outcomes that brings us distress. The more we resist, the more we struggle, and the more we try to control, the more we suffer. Our minds, in their endless efforts to solve problems that may not even exist, work tirelessly to predict the future and judge the past. Yet, in doing so, we miss the most important point: the present moment. The more we cling to past mistakes or future worries, the more we distance ourselves from the peace that is available to us right now. Our mental effort, this constant overthinking, only magnifies our fear and discomfort, making everything feel bigger and more overwhelming than it really is. The key to breaking free from this cycle of suffering is to let go of the illusion of control. We cannot dictate every event, nor can we bend the world to our will. Life will unfold with or without our resistance. When we try to control every aspect of our experience, we are only setting ourselves up for frustration, disappointment, and exhaustion. Accepting that we cannot control everything is the first step toward finding peace. There is immense freedom in acknowledging that we do not have to be in charge of every moment, every outcome, every interaction. Instead, we can choose how we respond. Whenever we catch ourselves in a spiral of worry or anxiety, a powerful question to ask is this within my control? If the answer is no, we have a choice to make. We can continue to hold on to the worry, or we can let it go. The most liberating action we can take when something is beyond our control is simply to release our grip, to stop fighting against it. This is not a passive surrender, but an active decision to free ourselves from the mental prison we've built. There's an old story about a person who was struggling with a large boulder, desperately pushing it with all their might, but the stone would not budge. The teacher, observing this, asked, "Why are you pushing something that won't give? Let go and the path will become clear." This simple question holds a profound lesson. Sometimes the most powerful action we can take is to stop pushing against what cannot be moved. The boulder will not move because it is not ours to move, and in trying to do so we only exhaust ourselves. When we release our attachment to the outcome, the path ahead becomes clear, and the burdens on our shoulders are lifted. Surrendering is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it is one of the greatest acts of strength we can exhibit. It is the courage to admit that we do not need to control everything. It is the wisdom to let go of what we cannot change and the ability to be at peace with the unknown. It is the liberation that comes from stepping off the treadmill of overthinking and stepping into the flow of life, where things unfold naturally, in their own time and way. This is the freedom that comes when we release our attachment to outcomes, when we let go of the need to control every detail. It is the quiet strength that allows us to move through life with ease, without clinging to the past or obsessing over the future. When we surrender, we stop resisting life and begin to flow with it. We learn that true peace does not come from controlling everything, but from accepting what is and finding harmony with the present moment. If this message resonates with you, and you're seeking more moments of peace and insight, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for daily reflections rooted in ancient wisdom and modern clarity. Seek happiness in simplicity. Our modern lives are often overflowing with complexity. We find ourselves buried under a mountain of obligations, constantly running from one task to the next, trying to meet the expectations of others while juggling our own. From the moment we wake up, we are bombarded by the demands of our careers, relationships, finances, and appearance. Every day, another responsibility piles on our shoulders, and before long, it feels as though we are suffocating under the weight of it all. We carry the burden of endless to-do lists, unanswered emails, and an ever-growing need to do more, be more, and achieve more. Amid this chaotic whirlwind, it is easy to lose sight of the simplicity and peace we so deeply crave. In the midst of this complexity, the Buddha's teachings offer us a powerful and liberating truth. Simplicity is the foundation of peace. Rather than continuously striving for more, we are invited to pause, reflect, and simplify. The Buddha famously said, "There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path." This profound statement reminds us that happiness is not something we need to chase or acquire. We do not need to accumulate more things, achieve more goals, or become someone else in order to find contentment. True happiness is found in the simplicity of the present moment, in shedding the unnecessary clutter, both physical and mental, that weighs us down. The essence of this teaching is that happiness is not a destination, it is a way of being. It is not something external that we need to obtain, but an internal state that arises when we let go of what no longer serves us. In today's world, we often think that happiness lies in more possessions, more achievements, or more recognition. We believe that to be happy, we must constantly strive for bigger and better things. But the Buddha challenges us to reconsider this belief. By simplifying our lives, by eliminating excess, releasing attachments, and focusing on what truly matters, we begin to unearth the contentment that was always within us. When we simplify, we reduce the burden of anxiety and stress. The constant worry about the future, the obsessive thoughts about the past, and the mental clutter of endless desires all begin to dissipate. We stop overthinking and reconnect with the present moment, where everything we truly need is already here. We realize that we do not need to fill our lives with distractions and noise to find peace. Peace is already within us, waiting to be uncovered. The more we clear away the unnecessary, the more space we create for stillness, for presence, and for true joy. One way this concept is beautifully captured in Zen philosophy is through the idea of shibumi. Shibumi refers to the understated beauty and elegance of simplicity. It is the art of creating something profound and meaningful with minimal effort, stripping away excess to reveal the essence. This aesthetic is not just about creating simple art or design. It is about living a life that is uncluttered, mindful, and intentional. A Zen master once said, "The simpler the life, the more profound the meaning." This profound insight speaks to the heart of the Buddhist path. By removing the distractions, by simplifying our approach to life, we create a deeper, more meaningful existence. When we stop complicating our lives with endless worries and pursuits, we make room for our hearts and minds to align, creating space for peace and clarity to flourish. When we let go of the need to constantly chase after more, we create a life that is not only simpler but also richer. Simplicity is not about having less, it is about needing less. It is about releasing our attachment to the things that do not bring us true fulfillment. We no longer look outside ourselves for validation because we know that everything we need to be content is already here, within us. The more we simplify, the more we realize that true freedom comes not from accumulating more, but from letting go of what we don't truly need. By choosing simplicity, we open the door to a life of profound meaning and contentment. We free ourselves from the chains of constant striving and comparison, and we step into the present moment where everything is already whole and complete. This is where true freedom lies, not in having more, but in needing less. It is in the ability to let go of the unnecessary distractions that cloud our hearts and minds, and in embracing the stillness and simplicity that allows us to experience the fullness of life. Thoughts are impermanent. You are the observer. How often do our thoughts feel like they are drowning us? The mind, when overwhelmed with worry, can feel like a vast ocean during a storm, where the waves are relentless and the horizon is obscured by dark clouds. We can find ourselves tossed about by these mental storms, feeling helpless, anxious, and lost in a whirlwind of thoughts. At times, it feels as though we have no control over the chaos within our minds. But within the Buddha's teachings lies a profound shift in perspective, one that offers us the opportunity to find peace amidst the turbulence of our thoughts. The Buddha offers us a transformative way of seeing our thoughts. He teaches us to view them as clouds, impermanent, fleeting, and constantly shifting. Just as clouds pass across the sky, our thoughts also come and go, sometimes heavy and dark, other times light and wispy. The key insight here is that we are not our thoughts. We are the vast, open sky in which these thoughts appear and disappear. The sky is ever-present and unaffected by the clouds that drift through it. Similarly, our true nature is the awareness that holds our thoughts, unaffected by them. In this way, we begin to recognize that we are the observer, not the observed. Our thoughts are simply passing phenomena, like clouds drifting by, and we have the power to choose our relationship to them. As the Buddha said, with our thoughts, we make the world. Our perception of our thoughts and the way we react to them shapes our experience of reality. If we grasp onto a thought, if we identify with it, we allow it to take root and influence our feelings, behavior, and perception of the world. But if we recognize that thoughts are just passing events in our consciousness, we can choose not to engage with them, not to let them define us. When a thought arises, we don't have to grab onto it. We can simply acknowledge it and allow it to pass, like watching leaves drift down a river. We don't need to follow the current of each thought, letting it take us into deeper layers of anxiety or worry. Instead, we can practice non-attachment, recognizing the thought for what it is and allowing it to flow by. This practice is not about suppressing thoughts or denying them. It's about allowing them to exist without being ensnared by them. We don't need to judge or fight our thoughts, simply observe them with awareness and let them go. The more we practice this non-attachment, the more we begin to loosen our grip on the constant barrage of thoughts that flood our minds. The mental storm of overthinking gradually starts to calm. It's like witnessing a turbulent sky clear, with the clouds drifting away to reveal the serene, vast expanse of blue. The peace we seek is always present, just beneath the surface of our busy minds. It is the stillness and clarity that come from letting go of the need to control our thoughts. It's important to remember that your thoughts are temporary visitors. They come and go, but they do not define who you are. The essence of who you are is not determined by the content of your thoughts, but by the awareness that observes them. Thoughts are like clouds. They do not last forever, and they have no power over the sky. In the same way, no thought has the power to define you unless you give it that power. You are the open, spacious awareness that allows these thoughts to come and go, and in this awareness, there is freedom. By letting thoughts come and go, without clinging to them, we create space within ourselves. We allow room for clarity, peace, and ease. In this space, the storm of overthinking begins to dissipate, and we begin to experience the natural calm that arises from simply being present with ourselves. The more we practice observing our thoughts without attachment, the more we come to realize that peace is not something we need to search for. It is already here, within us, waiting to be noticed. It is the space in which thoughts arise and fade, the vast sky of awareness that holds everything without becoming entangled in anything. This is the power of mindfulness, the practice of observing thoughts as they are, without judgment or attachment. In this practice, we reclaim our inner peace and experience the freedom that comes from being the observer, not the reactor. With each thought that comes and goes, we are reminded that we are not our thoughts, but the vast, limitless awareness in which they appear. And in this awareness, there is infinite peace, clarity, and freedom. In this journey, we have explored 4 profound principles for overcoming overthinking, each one offering a pathway to a more peaceful and centered life. The struggle with overthinking can often feel like an endless cycle, but by integrating these teachings into our lives, we can begin to break free from the mental fog and find clarity in the present moment. Let's take a deeper look at the principles we have uncovered, each of them a cornerstone for cultivating peace in our minds and hearts. First, we learned the importance of embracing the present moment. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the past or the future, constantly revisiting past regrets, worrying about missed opportunities, or anxiously anticipating what's to come. But the Buddha's wisdom calls us to focus on the only moment we truly have, the present. When we let go of the burden of the past and the weight of the future, we allow ourselves to experience peace in the here and now. This is where true freedom lies, not in dwelling on what was or what might be, but in fully engaging with what is. Next, We explored the power of surrendering what we cannot control. Life is filled with uncertainties, and no matter how hard we try, there are always elements beyond our control. Our attempts to control everything around us often create more stress and frustration. The Buddha's teachings remind us that peace comes not from trying to control every aspect of our lives, but from letting go of the illusion of control. We don't need to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. Instead, we can learn to trust life's flow and accept what is, without fighting against it. When we let go of the need to control, we create space for serenity to enter our lives. We also discovered that simplicity is the key to happiness. In our modern world, we often complicate our lives by chasing after more possessions, more achievements, more validation. We believe that happiness lies in accumulating things or meeting societal expectations. However, the Buddha teaches us that true happiness is found in simplicity. By shedding the mental and physical clutter that weighs us down, we make room for peace, joy, and fulfillment. When we simplify our lives, we stop getting caught up in endless pursuits and start appreciating the beauty of what we already have. We begin to experience contentment, not from acquiring more, but from needing less. Finally, we learned that our thoughts are impermanent, like passing clouds that come and go. Often we identify with our thoughts, believing they define who we are. But the truth is, thoughts are fleeting and ever-changing. They are like clouds drifting through the sky, sometimes dark and stormy, other times light and fluffy. By seeing our thoughts as temporary visitors, we can stop attaching ourselves to them. We can watch them come and go without getting caught up in their story. This shift in perspective allows us to experience greater freedom and peace, as we recognize that we are not our thoughts. We are the vast open sky in which they appear and disappear. By applying these 4 teachings, the power of embracing the present moment, surrendering what we cannot control, simplifying our lives, and understanding the impermanence of our thoughts, you can begin to quiet the mental storm that often clouds your mind. These principles give us the tools to break free from the cycle of overthinking and create space for inner calm, clarity, and peace. As we come to the end of this journey, I invite you to take these teachings into your own life. Every moment is an opportunity to practice embracing the present, letting go of what you cannot control, simplifying your thoughts and actions, and recognizing that your thoughts do not define you. With each step, you will find that the mental noise quiets and the path to peace becomes clearer. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May you find peace and clarity in every moment, and may you experience the freedom that comes from living in alignment with these simple yet profound truths.